This is beyond fairy tale. It's inconceivable.
There it is. Doyle's done it.
Eastgate steps into poker history.
This is the greatest sport in the world.
It's that time of year again. The main event is making its way into the final turn. And look who's coming down the home stretch. Poker giants like Phil Ivey have beaten over 96% of the field, and they're just getting started.
The game plan for me is just take it one hand at a time, create good situations, and try to break my opponent down. Come on.
Breaking down world champions Peter Eastgate and Joe Hashem won't be so easy. They know exactly what they're up against.
It's a marathon of poker.
Never easy, man. There's so much pressure on people, so I use that to my advantage.
They've cut through a field of thousands and continue to dominate against all odds.
I'm sick, I'm telling you that.
The final table is within sight, and the best in the world are sure to lock horns. And man, what a sight it will be.
So much drama, so much intrigue.
Welcome to the World Series of Poker, presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. I'm Lon McCarran with Norman Chad in the Rio Poker Room, where only 230 players remain as Day 5 of the main event nears its close. Still battling for an invitation to the November 9 are the 3 remaining female players in the field.
That was Nikki, did you see that?
As well as a pair of brothers who have beaten all odds, but they are up against the who's who of the poker world, including the extraordinary Phil Ivey.
Best in the business.
November 9 member Dennis Phillips.
Best amateur going.
Defending champ Peter Eastgate.
Still only 23.
And 07 player of the year Tom Schneider.
Losing hair, gaining chips.
And still at table 2, the always entertaining Antonio Esfandiari, who has had some competition in that department from actor Lou Diamond Phillips. And quite a strong lineup at our featured table, including the bluff ESPN #1 ranked power player in the world, Bertrand Elke Grospellier.
Well, my #1 ranked bearded player left in the main event is Jeff Schulman. He's made the final table here before.
The payouts are over $36,000 right now. The blind 6 and 12,000 with a 2,000 chip ante. Action is folded over to Francois Baumegere. He gives it up. Now to Randy Propson, our Yahtzee savant on the Jack Link's Beef Jerky Pocket Cam 10-9 of clubs.
I've warmed up to him. He says he's not a poker pro. He's just going to play until he goes broke.
37.
He's going to raise it up to 37,000 with the suited connectors. Shulman lays it down. There is an empty seat here, and it looks like it's going to be filled by Joe Hashem.
You know, it's like at title fights, the champion always enters the ring last.
Over to Elke Grospellier. Ace-8 offsuit in the big blind.
And he's wondering if he's in the mood to dance with Propson.
Elke accepts the invitation.
I think Hashem's trying to sneak up on the table, and then he'll shout, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
The flop is 10-6. Propson picks up a pair of 10s. Elke missed that flop. Elke with ace-high checks. Propson with his 2 10s checks.
I might have bet there if I was Propson.
Turn card is a king. Grospellier gets no help.
See, if a high card pops out on the turn, you don't know if it hit your opponent. I would have tried to end the hand on the flop.
Elke checked it. Propson bets about half the pot, 42,000.
Elke senses he has company.
Hey, Joel.
He shouldn't be worried about Joe. He should be focusing on folding his hand.
He makes the call.
Oh.
I wonder if he's distracted. River card now is another deuce, so Propson with 10s and deuces gets the check mark. Elke checks a 3rd time. Propson with 3 green chips. That's 75,000.
I disagree with Propson again. I would have checked there. If Elke pops it, what are you going to do?
Elke thinking about it. And Elke just with a call.
Boy, Elke thinking that Propson was posturing. Thought his ace-high might be good enough.
Yes, Sam.
The Yahtzee guys, it turns out, was smarter than me. Then again, I set a low bar.
Is the 2005 world champion, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Joe Hashem.
Oh, apparently Joe was waiting to be introduced before he sat down.
Hey, guys.
Standard poker etiquette.
What are you bringing us today, Mr. Hashem?
Nearly 700.
This table just got a lot stronger. What was already a tough group to beat now has a former world champ at center stage.
Norman, through the years, we have grown accustomed to the abundance of unknown names that are left at this stage of the main event. But as we look around this room and the list of household names still remaining, it's pretty impressive.
Ivey, Elke, Hashem, Eastgate, and a bunch of other big names who will never invite me over to their house. It's been 8 years since an established pro won the main event, and I am ready to guarantee this is the year it will happen again. Probably. Well, maybe. Okay, maybe not. But boy, it would be kind of cool.
In this day and age, it's hard to imagine anyone winning a second main event title, but Joe and anyone like Elke seeking their first does have a shot. Right now, everyone looking up to Tom Schneider as he nears 3 million chips. Some other notable names include Dennis Phillips with 1.1 million and Phil Ivey with about half that. Chip average currently 847,000. There is Phil Ivey, who began day 5 with almost 1.3 million. He's in a hand with Charles Clark after the river, 2 8s, 2 7s, and a jack on the board, and Ivey just bet 40,000. Clark makes the call. Ivey hit jacks up on the river, and he'll take that pot.
Ivey was down to 200,000 plus chips, and I was teetering emotionally, but Phil has stopped the bleeding.
This is Phil's 4th main event cash. Chip leader Tom Schneider has been put to a decision by Dan Bilzerian, who bet 135,000 after a flop of Queen 9 Jack, all hearts.
Bilzerian is an adrenaline junkie, says his life is like summer break that never ends. I think Schneider cuts a more conservative figure than Dan.
Schneider, with all those chips, certainly can afford it, but decides to lay it down. So Bilzerian shows just a 3 of diamonds. I guess he didn't have the flush.
That was a good one. Bilzerian enjoys the moment, and Tom Schneider will wait for another moment.
Let's catch up with the defending champ. We've seen Peter Eastgate all in a number of times. At this time, he has Kyle Bowker on the verge of elimination. Peter has Kyle dominated. Here's the flop. 10-9 Jack. Both pair their Jack. Bowker picked up a straight draw. Turn card now is an 8, and Bowker hits his queen high straight.
Bowker will survive his all-in. A queen would put a straight on the board and chop the pot.
River card is another 8, and Bowker will double up. Peter's not going away mad. The room's going on break, so he's just trying to beat the traffic, but there is one table still playing. At table 2, Antonio Esfandiari trying to figure out what to do with his pocket queens and opponent Andreas Flocksta after a harmless flop. Flocksta holds 2 8s. Antonio will bet it. That's 89,000.
Flocksta, 21 years old, was studying for a master's in computer engineering, but is switching to medicine.
And he does call. Turn card now is a tray. That's a 3rd heart. Both with flush draws. Antonio's is better, and he checks.
Antonio's a little wary now.
Flocksta checks as well. River card now is a 5 of clubs. Antonio Esfandiari with the check mark. Antonio will bet 175,000.
Antonio is comfortable again.
Flocksta backed into a corner, lashes out with all that he's got left.
Lon, what is it about the Scandinavian peninsula? Naked aggression again. Flocksta knows he's beat, and he pushes it all in, and he has put Esfandiari to the test. This would be for almost all of Antonio's chips, and he's just got the pocket queens.
You want me to call?
He wants you to call for dinner reservations if you're buying, but right here he wants you to fold.
Yes, no, maybe?
Definitely not yes or maybe. Flocksta trying to scallywag Esfandiari.
A big moment for Antonio, and he lays it down. Yeah, and Flocksta shows the bluff.
And now that Antonio sees it, he'll have to stew over that one for a while. Flocksta pulls off the high-risk heist.
Nice hand.
Antonio not willing to risk giving up that many chips. That win would have vaulted him into the upper reaches of the leaderboard, but now left with a below-average chip stack.
The World Series of Poker main event.
Welcome back to the Rio and our featured table. New arrival Joseph Hashem is ready to play. Hashem will have position on and provide a little extra competition for Elke Grossbellier, Jeff Schulman, and the others.
So Elke, me here sitting next to you, it's like ebony and ivory.
Yeah, but I guarantee you, Elke is not a natural blonde.
Action will begin on Brent Catalano, a poker pro from Atlanta. Pocket queens.
Catalano used to be a structural engineer. That is an engineer that deals with structures.
I thought we solved this problem of yours last time I was here, Brent.
30.
Joe not fond of his big blind being raised.
Catalano did raise it up to 30,000 on Randy Propson with a couple of 4s.
When Propson plays Yahtzee, he is known as tight aggressive.
He makes the call with the 4s.
Jeff Schulman has never played Yahtzee because he is allergic to dice.
He folds his king deuce.
One time. Every time, one time.
Jack 9 of hearts.
Hey, Jeff, I didn't see you there.
How's it going?
And Hashem makes the call from the big blind.
Hashem makes chit-chat and defends his blind.
One time every time, Dylan.
3 players to
One
the
more
flop.
time.
8 ace queen, couple of hearts. Catalano with a set, almost a one-time for Joe. He picked up a straight flush draw.
Okay.
Woo, woo.
And he checks.
He checked, but he adjusts his chair. When you adjust your chair, you usually have a big draw.
Catalano checked his queens, props and bets 75,000, thinks he can buy it. Joe comes along.
When you cover your face with dark blue sweats, you usually have a hand.
And a big hand he does. All in for
I
$229,000.
was just kidding.
It is set up perfectly for Catalano.
Working on.
Hashem's getting the right price to call.
It's all right, I call.
And he does. Can't lay down a straight flush draw, Norman.
Oh, no. You've got straight possibilities, flush possibilities, and the elusive straight flush possibility. Why do you think I'm standing, Alon?
The good news is I was dead.
Catalano all in, has to dodge a lot of outs.
Have any hearts?
Hashem looking to hit one of his draws. Turn card. Tray of spades. Catalano still ahead.
Hashem needs a 10 or any heart that doesn't pair the board to knock out Brent Catalano.
The river card is a jack, and Catalano survives that dicey moment and doubles up.
Nice hand, Brad. 154.
Welcome to the table, Mr. Hashem.
The 05 world champ was looking for some more one-time magic, but no straight or flush on the river.
Welcome to the table.
None of his draws hit, but Joe knows there's a big difference between calling with a draw and making a move with a draw, as we find out in Straight from the Pros, brought to you by PokerStars.net. In the 2007 main event, Joe found himself in a hand against Thomas Beal and Jim Cleveborg, who were seated to his right.
I was on the button. It had been called early, raised in middle, and I called with 3-4 of clubs. For my position and my chip stack, calling a small raise is a smart thing to do with that sort of hand, because it's easy to bust somebody if they've got a big hand. So the flop comes ace-2 of clubs. I've got a straight flush draw. Gets checked. The pre-flop raiser bets 800, and I decide to raise it up. I'm going to raise. To define the hands that are out there. And if I get called, I still have position on the turn. The pocket sevens of the first guy folds. The young guy thinks about it for a while with his kings, but it felt to him that he was beat. He folded, and I politely took the pot. My raise on the flop is a semi-bluff. If he does call, A, I've got position, B, I've got the draw, so I can decide then on the turn whether I'm going to continue betting. Poker is about position. I used my position really well at that point.
Joe not having the best of moments right now with just over 430,000 chips. He's down for the day after losing that last hand and well below the chip average of 866,000 with just 225 players remaining. Tom Schneider is still the chip leader. Meanwhile, out in the field, one of the larger stacks in the room, Nicole Pepe has a decision to make against Warren Zaki of South Africa, who just bet 400,000 after the river.
I don't know why I feel like it's bluffing me.
Zaki owns a plumbing supply company.
I call.
Nicole makes the call. Zaki shows top pair, top kicker.
Nice answer.
And Nicole sees a lot of her chips.
Don't say it. Don't say
go
it.
down the drain.
I asked you not to say it.
I do apologize. With 1.6 million chips, Nicole leads the 3 women who are left in the main event. Another one right there, Leo Margetz of Spain lays her hand down.
Margetz used to work in sports marketing.
And there is Estelle Denny of Paris, France, who's in the hand right now with JC Tran. JC just bet 32,000 pre-flop. Denis moves all in for her last 142. Norman, it appears the dealer just pulled her cards into the muck.
Oh, wow.
Did you protect your cards? I don't know.
I'm all in.
Okay, well, I swept in your cards.
Stop right here. Don't do anything for right now.
Huh?
Don't do anything just now.
Okay.
Are those our 2 cards on top of that pile? Don't touch them. I just said don't do anything.
Yeah.
Thank
Tell
you.
me what they were.
Get your hand away from them,
Okay.
please.
I give you my card.
I'm going to get somebody over
This is
here.
unusual. Denis went all in. The dealer, though, killed her hand, putting her cards into the muck. I think her hand might be dead.
JC and everyone certainly feels for her, but there's nothing they can do.
I think she's telling the floor supervisor what her cards were. If they can retrieve the cards she said she had from the top of the muck, they apparently will allow her to continue.
Well, I guess those weren't her cards.
The dealer made a mistake, but it's the player's responsibility to protect their hand.
Very good argument for card protectors. And she stands by helplessly.
I think Estelle Denny is going to get bad news.
Okay, you guess what the
Your hand is dead because those were...
Her hand is dead.
Okay, all right, am I finished the hand? Oh, hold
That is unfortunate. It is ugly for Estelle Denny, but it's by the book.
Yeah, you finish with the hand. You get these chips back, but those are...
Denny will have to forfeit the $32,000 that called JC's bet, but will get $110,000 back that she raised all in. Her table mates can only watch in bewilderment.
It's a joke.
Estelle taking it better than most would.
I had 2 aces.
Oh, my goodness.
Pocket aces she says she had. She had pushed all in, and a dealer error is going to cost her.
Well, we see something new every year at the World Series of Poker. All in, seemingly with aces, and now her hand is dead. Unfortunately for Denny, this is one of the toughest rulings she'll ever have to live with.
The World Series of Poker, presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Main event.
Welcome back to the Rio Poker Room. Action underway at the featured table. Jeff Schulman raised pre-flop with ace-king. Sar Wilf from Israel re-raised all in with king-queen. Schulman called for $221,000 more, and Wilf got no help on the flop.
Wilf moved all in with 20 big blinds left.
A king on the turn pairs both players, but Wilf is now down to his last shot.
Wilf will need a queen, and a queen only, or he is done.
River card is a 7 of clubs, and Jeff Schulman will win the hand and eliminate Sar Wilf. He'll take home almost $37,000.
See you around.
Jeff Schulman has been playing it pretty close to the vest. He's pretty much stayed out of harm's way.
Right now, about $230,000 below chip average. To the field tables we go and catch up with pro Prahlad Friedman. Both he and his opponent Zolt Elosfly have Jack 10 offsuit. After the flop, Friedman bet $75,000. Elosfly then shoved for $182,000 more, and Prahlad now makes the call.
This will be a chopped pot unless the Hungarian gets running spades.
Give me a club.
Turn card now is a club, and so they will split the pot.
I don't think that hand is going to be worthy of a wrap. At least I hope not.
Looks like Prahlad was sweating that all-in decision, but he gets away unharmed. Over to Joe Seabach's table after the turn. Kevin O'Malley bet $80,000 with kings up. Seabach has a straight flush draw, and Joe will make the call.
Another straight flush draw? You're just teasing me, Lon.
All right, the river card now. Well, it's not a straight flush, but Seabach hits his flush, gets the check mark.
Come on.
And Joe bets enough to put O'Malley all in.
The Cleveland insurance executive with a tough decision. Most pros will tell you you're okay until you're down to 20 big blinds. If O'Malley folds here, he'd be left with 25 big blinds.
O'Malley makes the call. And he will go out of this tournament holding pocket kings.
A brutal way to end your main event. O'Malley's pocket kings get beat by the 7-6 there of Seabach and some running clubs.
O'Malley takes home almost $37,000. Joe Seabach now over $1 million, trying to maximize his first main event cash. Joe discussing the hand right now with his cousin, Mike Lynn, who's seated right next to him. As we have seen in this main event, poker can be a family affair. There is Adam Bilzerian, who was sitting next to his brother Dan earlier in the day. He turns over Broadway, and that will eliminate Donald Crabtree. So Adam Bilzerian cruising along, moving up in chips. His brother, Dan Bilzerian, has a tough decision right now against Tom Schneider, who bet $135,000 on the river.
These Bilzerian brothers are quite a story. There's Venus and Serena, Peyton and Eli, now Adam and Dan.
Dan makes that call, and Tom Schneider will get a little stronger. He's going to win it with trip jacks, and it looks like the Bilzerian brothers are heading in opposite directions at the moment, and that really is nothing new with these two.
Oh, by the way, I taught him poker. I want that.
We touched on that. Thank you.
Did you? Okay. Where were we at? He loves me and I hate him. No, I'm kidding.
It's a love-hate relationship. We fought a lot as kids. When we had some space, you know, we kind of we bonded more and we came pretty close.
It's a liar and a weasel, bro.
He's more of a steady winner. I'm going to be more of a yo-yo.
You're kind of a bad player. I mean, not like horrible, but just kind of bad. We both like to win, and we hate losing more than anything else in the world. Oh, my God.
I'm definitely better than him.
The Donkey Brothers calling with the ace jack.
We definitely give each other, you know, a fair amount of but at the end of the day, we're still rooting for each other.
These brothers are men of extremes. Dan trained to be a Navy SEAL, while Adam renounced his U.S. citizenship.
Back to the feature table for the Jack Link's Beef Jerky wildcard hand. Action will start on the poker coach from Toulouse, France, Francois Balmigère, and he does have the wildcard hand.
He is in what is called the hijack position. That's one to the right of the cutoff, which is one to the right of the button. Frankly, some poker lingo I could do without, but that is what it is.
A raise to 31,000.
Well, from the hijack, I'm going to put him on a steal. Jack 9 off.
Hashem in the big blind.
Why does the price go up for my blind? Their blind, it was 30, mine's 31.
You stole my blind before.
Did I? Oh, yes, I did too, right, okay. Yeah, there's a profit.
Hashem calls.
Joe gets a little prickly when his blind is raised.
So these two heads up to the flop. 10-5 deuce. Hashem with a pair of fives.
Balmigère once was coached by bracelet winner Vanessa Selps, and as you mentioned, he does some coaching himself now.
A former chiropractor from Australia, Joe Hashem checks. Balmigère bets 43,000.
I think he's posturing. Joe, you got to agree with me. The flop missed Balmigère's Jack 9, and he's bet hoping the flop also missed you.
Hashem will come along with middle pair.
Yeah, we got him where we want him, Joe.
Turn card now. Ace of clubs.
Anytime there's an ace out there, you don't feel quite as happy with what you're holding. Hashem just has the fives.
Hashem checks again. Doors open now for Balmigère, I'd imagine.
Wide open for the Jack 9 off.
He's going to follow up with 86,000.
This is some pretty serious posturing now. He bets half the pot. Call, Joe. This guy's spinning a tale of deceit.
Hashem will lay it down. Balmigère will take that hand. And he had 7-6. He had everybody fooled but you on the Jack Link's Beef Jerky wildcard hand.
Lon, how do you say very good in French?
Très bien.
Très bien, Francois, très bien. I called your bluff, but you swagglefus, Monsieur Hashem.
Advantage France. Back to the Rio, once filled with hundreds of poker tables, now down to the final 24 tables. There's Estelle Denny, cautiously protecting her cards, her chips, everything she owns out there.
Estelle is a well-regarded sports journalist and broadcaster, pretty much the French version of me.
After losing her pocket aces to the muck, she's got a long uphill climb, sitting with 139,000 chips. There is Phil Ivey, as he's in great shape to knock out another player. Ivey's pocket king's a huge favorite to the pocket nines of Claudio Baptista after a flop of ace-ace-5.
Baptista down to a 2-outer. He'll need a 9.
Turn card is another ace, so Ivey with the better full house will win that hand and eliminate Baptista.
Phil Ivey quietly making some noise again. But remember, my man, even though he's got 7 bracelets, he has never won one in Hold'em.
Once again, there's Warren Zaki with pocket 10. Zaki called the all-in of Tom Lutz. Lutz shoved with the nut flush draw after the flop.
Well, Lutz a slight favorite. Quite a call from Zaki on a nearly 2 million chip all-in.
Now Lutz is going to have to hit the river.
Lutz looking for an ace, queen, or any club to stick around.
It is a 5 of spades. Zaki will win that big pot, and Tom Lutz is knocked out.
Boy, Lutz had twice the chip average just a moment ago. Now Warren Zaki has all his chips. Zaki, the last South African in the field. You may recall Raymond Rami's final table run in 2007.
So with almost 4 million chips, Zaki is the new chip leader. Tom Schneider, the former top dog, has dropped to 4th. Some other notable players, Peter Eastgate below chip average, as is Ivy, but Phil's chip count is on the uptick. At the featured table, Jeff Schulman raised with ace-king. Tyler Patterson went all-in with king-queen, and Jeff called and is a favorite to knock him out.
This is a replay for Schulman. He knocked out Sar Wilf earlier in this exact situation.
Flop now, and there's an ace. Jeff with aces up. Patterson needs something.
And both Wilf and Patterson pushed with king-queen when they both had enough chips, in my opinion, to wait for a better spot.
I called you for, right?
Of course.
Turn card now is a queen. That helps, but it's only step 1.
Best one you can get.
Tyler Patterson.
Come on, Miranda.
Looking for the runner miracle. Another queen, and he gets to stick around.
River card is another tray. Schulman wins with a better full house. Tyler Patterson eliminated in 210th place.
And Jeff Schulman benefiting again from king-queen pushing when he's holding ace-king.
Suddenly, Jeff Schulman beginning to accumulate chips at this feature table.
He could use a shave.
What's going on here?
Pretty crazy here.
No wonder you can get friggin' 5 million chips.
Joe commenting on what he thinks is reckless play.
What's going on?
Craziness.
What am I missing? Like, is something, I'm missing something here?
Jeff says you're not missing anything. They're playing too loose, and I'm chipping up, buddy.
Mate, let me tell you, they have no idea.
I think Joe is licking his chops at potential opportunities to take out overzealous opponents. All right, to table 2, Antonio Esfandiari watching this hand as actor Lou Diamond Phillips is heads up with Kevin O'Donnell, who re-raised to 87,000 with ace-5 off. Phillips called with ace-king. Let's see a flop. 7, king, king. Lou Diamond Phillips with trip kings. And he checks.
Lou with the nonchalant check.
O'Donnell will bet it 93,000.
The 1% hand dives into the water without a swimsuit on.
LDP with a flat call.
Cool hand, Lou.
Turn card is an ace, and Phillips now with kings full. O'Donnell paired that ace. Lou Diamond Phillips checks.
Cool hand, Lou, acting like he doesn't care much for the hand.
O'Donnell checks behind. River card is a 10. Phillips with the check mark. He's checked twice, but he's going to bet it now, 75,000.
That's such a small bet into that pot.
Ooh, you got the king? It's the only one you can smooth call with. Wow.
It smells fishy to Kevin O'Donnell.
Rainbow. 390 in there for $75,000. It's like such a bargain.
There are no bargains, Kevin. It's a scam.
I call. I'm giving it to you. I know you got the king.
He's got the king and the ace.
Nice hand, sir.
Cool hand, Lou.
Only a donkey pays you off when he knows he's beat, but I like to make Antonio happy once in a while.
Antonio seems mildly amused, but a $500,000 chip pot for Lou Diamond Phillips is just what the doctor ordered for the actor at this stage of the game.
Little value.
The World Series of Poker, presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Main event.
Welcome back to the Rio. This tournament ticker brought to you by FullTiltPoker.net. The last woman standing has broken the top 100 each of the last 6 years, but none has made it to the final table. That only happened in 1995. Estelle Denny just called all in after pairing her 8 on the flop. She's still trailing the pocket tens of Alper Sar. This could be it for Denny.
Estelle has never recovered from her pocket aces getting mucked by the dealer.
She gets no help on the turn.
And now Estelle Denny, perhaps down to her last card. She'll need an ace or an 8 or she's gone.
River card is a king, and that will do it. Estelle Denny eliminated in 203rd place.
Tough timing on that pocket ace incident.
Because of that, J.C. Tran and the others here thinking maybe Estelle's stay was somewhat abbreviated.
She handled that dealer incident with class. We wish her well.
So with Denny on the rail, the main event has just 2 women remaining. One of them, Leo Margetts, just bet $70,000 into Tom Schneider.
Leo's got a bachelor's degree in business and a master's in communications.
The $70,000 chip bet is called by Schneider. A 10 of diamonds on the turn. Schneider checked. And Margetts moves all in.
She communicates that pretty well. Her relatively small stack trying to tell the monster stack of Tom Schneider, I've got a hand.
This would cost Tom just about 10% of his stack. Schneider tries to find his cards behind the chips and folds.
The 25-year-old poker pro hanging tough.
Come on, show them off one time. Oh my God.
Dan Bilzerian looking on, commenting from the peanut gallery.
It sounds like none of the table believes her.
What would you put me on?
Ace king. 100% ace king, maybe ace queen. No pair. No.
Doesn't matter what she had, but she has just about doubled her stack here on day 5. The only other woman left, Nicole Pepe, is reaching for chips at another table. She bets $80,000 into Bolivar Palacios after the flop.
Pepe, a 30-year-old poker pro from Southern California. Palacios, a 25-year-old pro from Panama.
And he makes the call. Turn card is a tray of clubs. Palacios checks, Pepe checks. The 9 of diamonds on the river. Palacios checks again.
Will had a beautiful flop, but I ain't going crazy with it.
She shows a pair of aces with a busted flush draw.
Do you have hearts too?
She had been dry for a spell.
Are you thanking your lucky stars? You didn't catch a heart? Wow, it's my first hand of
It's been a while. Nicole getting a little stronger there. She says she kind of fell into the game after college. Little did she know that she would also fall into love in the poker room.
I just got married, so I'm a newlywed. I was playing 5-10 no limit, and he was playing 400-800 mixed game, and their table was right next to ours. And we just talked, and that was the end. That was it. 3 years later, we're married. Poker is such a tough and emotional job. Every day is different, and one day you love it, the next day you hate it. Wow. You hear every day in the poker room about guys and their wives call and they're like, oh, you gotta come home, and they hate that they're playing poker and they don't understand it and they don't want them to lose money. And I mean, marriages are broke up over it. But our marriage is kind of based on it. We understand each other in the game so well that even when we have awful swings or bad days, we help each other through it, and actually makes us stronger and be able to get through those hard times even more.
She originally moved to Los Angeles to become an actress. That's always a mistake. She then met her husband, Tad Jurgens, and now has found the right stage in poker.
Back to our featured table. Action on Elke Grospellier on the Jack Link's Beef Jerky Pocket Cam. Couple of 9s.
Elke says he loves making quick decisions online. Live games are too slow for him.
He raises to 28,000. Hashem with pocket 10s.
Joe, not an online guy. His first exposure to No Limit was seeing rounders.
You all have no idea.
The Hashem rant against the new poker order continues.
He calls for 28,000. Folded to Propson with 8-7 of diamonds in the big blind.
Propson started playing poker in high school, nickel and dime games. The problem with nickel and dime games is you need a lot of nickels and dimes.
3 to the flop. Queen, 6, king. That missed all of them. Hashem with his 10s is still ahead.
Nobody looks particularly happy with that flap.
Propson checks. Elke checks. Hashem checks his 10s. Turn card is another 6. Joe Hashem with his 10s still in the lead. Grospellier with his 9s drawing thin. Propson is drawing dead. And he checks.
Propson minds his P's and Q's.
Elke checks as well.
45.
Joe bets 45,000 with the best hand. Propson folds. Elke with pocket 9s. And he's going to lay it down.
Pretty disciplined laydown by Elke.
You show 2 9s?
2 9s.
You show 2 10s? And you lay down 2 9s?
He knows.
Elke, right here,
Never
buddy.
get my money in behind, man.
You're the best.
He knows.
I know I have no idea.
Elke's my boy.
You know that 10s are better than king queen, right?
The 10s are better than queen queen?
Yeah. How come your money wasn't? Oh, yeah, trap. Very good. Very sneaky.
Tell you what, there's a lot to be learned. And I'm still learning.
Joe certainly knows that part of the process is learning to adapt. The most sought-after prize in the game of poker, the main event bracelet. Its owner can claim it on November 10th here at the Rio. Joe Hashem already has one.
Contrary to popular belief, this game is not only about mathematics.
Oh, of course. Well, it is. It's just if you can narrow the hands to a certain amount that you change the math. If you know he has aces, the math is exactly fold.
And how do you know he has aces?
Well, that's your read.
Yeah.
Joe trying to school the youngins.
Action on Jeff Schulman. Ace 9.
Schulman's a smart man. There's no place for the ace.
He does fold it. Elke, 7 deuce.
Rags.
Joe Hashem now.
On the button.
Suited king.
25.
Raise, 25,000.
25,000 is the raise.
That's a min raise plus 1,000 wand. I know math.
Catalano with pocket 10s in the small blind. Calls for 19,000 more.
Maybe I don't know math. I would have raised there.
Big blind gets out of the way, so Catalano and Hashem heads up. The flop is king, deuce 6. Hashem pairs his king to take the lead. Catalano checked. 40,000 from Joe.
Joe knows math and he knows reads. His read is that he has the best hand right here.
Catalano with his 2 10s, check calls.
Catalano might know math, but this is a bad read.
Turn card is an 8, and it gets better for Joe. King's up. Catalano checks again.
90.
90 from Hashem.
90,000.
Hashem again bets about half the pot. Good read and maybe good math. I know I have no idea.
Catalano gives up the pocket pair.
Catalano mucks it before the damage gets too severe. Matt didn't help him there.
Hashem will take that pot.
Didn't have king queen, huh? I've warned you about that hand, right?
He would have won with it too.
Would have done his own.
Oh yeah?
Would have gone broke.
I know broke.
What'd you have, like a pair of 10s or something?
Maybe.
Wow. Maybe.
Right around there.
Exactly there.
Missed the 8.
You had 9s.
You had 9s?
No, you had 9s. Or 7s.
See my cards? You know where I'm at.
Catalano doubled up through Joe a bit earlier. Joe takes some back. Fewer than 200 players now remain in the main event. If you don't have $1 million yet, you're below the chip average. There is pro Kenny Tran, who finished 16th in the big one 2 years ago. He's facing a big bet from Nick Maimone.
Once Kenny's involved, he hates giving up a hand.
But Kenny will lay that one down. Maimone will collect the chips.
Good time so bluff.
More bluffing you.
I think you steal it. I always think you steal. You look like the guy that, can't help it. You look like a criminal.
Kenny trusts no one.
Taleo Margetts. She's up against Dan Bilzerian, who just re-raised pre-flop.
Kenny Tran certainly would not trust Dan Bilzerian.
And Margetts will lay it down.
Show the bluff. Show the bluff. Come on, one time.
I want Dan to show. And he shows 7-5.
That meets bluff standards.
Leo Margetts has to get on her horse. She has slipped below 600,000. Over to Lou Diamond Phillips now in the field. That's a raise to 160,000 after a flop of 5-7 tray. Onto the big stack Matt Affleck. He folds. Over to the big stack of Casper Cortez, a Danish poker pro.
He's friends with fellow Dane Peter Eastgate.
And he folds. So Lou Diamond Phillips takes the pot and shows queens.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care. I just show he doesn't care.
Oh, what did you have?
You see? Yeah, it's because they boycotted my movies in Russia. They never got over there. You know what I'm saying?
He's from Denmark, Lou.
Lou won the reality show I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, but he's not the only reality star in the room today. Antonio Esfandiari has his own reality show with Phil Locke called I Bet You.
I'm sorry, did he sign her chest?
I believe he did. And now a stomach?
Well, there's upside and there's downside to the human body. And a tough break for Antonio. He doesn't have that short of a name.
Several poker players have crossed over to the reality TV world. Annie Duke had a memorable run on Celebrity Apprentice, as did Jean-Robert Ballon on Survivor, which got us wondering who else would make good reality TV on this edition of The Nuts.
Oh, I got some good shots here.
On a reality show, you need someone who's really insane. Mike Mattisau would be the one.
No! I mean, somebody just needs to put the camera on him, and it's great TV.
Turn the off.
It's off, right?
Who else would you have here?
Yeah, I know for TV.
Gonna be Scott win, maybe.
All you need to know, baby.
I'd probably have to pick the brat.
I passed the test.
Phil Hellmuth starring in Do You Know Who I Am?
Idiot from Northern Europe.
24-hour Phil Cam, give it to me.
Sure.
I would have a blast. If I did it, I'd love it.
That's what I've been waiting for.
Just yesterday, agent said, are you interested in being on Dancing with the Stars?
The thing that's nice about poker players is they're all completely dysfunctional. You could have any of them, and it would just be a complete train wreck, which is what a reality show is.
I can't see Phil Hellmuth on Dancing with the Stars unless they allow him to dance without a partner.
I'm not sure anyone's worthy to dance with Phil. Esfandiari with pocket aces.
I get pocket aces. I really prefer if one of the cards is the ace of spades.
So Antonio came up short there. Over to Adam Sanders from Brookline, Massachusetts with pocket tens.
Sanders attended Drew University in Madison, New Jersey. I believe they are the Ragin' Cajuns.
A re-raise to 85,000.
Will Antonio pull the trigger right now?
All in.
He does indeed. He's going for it.
I call.
Sanders makes the call to put himself at risk. Antonio got a taker.
Boy, Sanders would have had 25 big blinds left if he folded there. Didn't it seem likely that Antonio had aces, kings, or queens?
Here's the flop. Couple of kings and a 4. No help to Sanders.
And Sanders now staring at a 2-outer. He will need a 10.
Turn card is an 8, down to his last card now.
Sanders has to have a 10 and a 10 only, or he is wamboozled.
River card is a tray. That's going to do it. Antonio wins the hand. Sanders eliminated. We heard Hashem talking about the crazy play he's seen. Sanders got too frisky with those 10s, and he paid the ultimate price.
He was a kid with a dream.
It went almost $37,000, and Antonio takes all his chips.
Young man, young man. Young man. Huh? Young man, one time.
A shot in the arm for Antonio Esfandiari, who was seeking to make a big impression with his first main event cash. Welcome back to the Rio, where 187 players remain as day 5 nears its finish. At Phil Ivey's table, the player on his right is Hub Verdenschot. He opens shoves pre-flop with ace-queen offsuit.
You know, I'm not moving all in with ace-queen off with 30 big blinds left and Phil Ivey to my left.
It's for his last $286,000. Phil calls with pocket 8s. The blinds fold, so Verdenschot at risk with 2 overs. Now the flop. Jack 9 deuce. Ivey's pocket 8 stand up through the flop.
Verdenschot looking for big cards.
It's a king. Ivey still ahead. Verdenschot with a straight draw.
So now Verdenschot needs an ace, queen, or 10, or he is eliminated.
Okay. The river card is a tray. Ivey wins the pot and knocks off another player. So we're down to 186 as Verdenschot hits the rail.
It's been a long time since my man's been above chip average. We have made it. I am exhausted.
To another table. All the hard work for Lou Diamond Phillips today could go up in flames. He's all in with pocket kings against 2 pocket pairs of aces.
It's 2 against 1. At least Lou's got the live pocket pair.
Chris Bach and Casper Cortez with the aces. The flop doesn't help Lou Diamond Phillips.
No king on the flop, so maybe there will be a king on the turn.
The turn card is just a 5.
No king on the turn. So now there absolutely has to be a king on the river, or our last celebrity is gone.
The river card is another 9, a full boat for all, but it's not enough to save Lou Diamond Phillips.
Lou played so well today, it took 2 guys to take him out.
What an impressive run for the likable actor. Bach and Cortez share the pot and the knockout.
The guy on the right has never even seen a Lou Diamond Phillips film.
Kings and
So Lou Diamond Phillips will make his exit from the 09 main event in 186th place.
And now that all the shoe clerks, crumb bums, and actors are out of here, the real poker players can concentrate on winning the main event.
All right, back to the featured table. Joe Hashem looks down at 8-6 suited into the mug.
If I have king queen, I'm not folding.
No matter what.
No matter what.
King Queen has been the farewell hand here at the feature table.
Win too. Everybody lost with King Queen so many times that this table is due for a big win.
Favorite. You promised.
Action folded up to Jeff Schulman.
Only the blinds are left.
9-4 of diamonds.
Even in the small blind, that doesn't look good.
He's reaching.
You don't want to do that.
I know.
And he'll raise it to 35,000.
Schulman trying to steal his neighbor's blind.
Elke in the big blind with ace tray of spades.
Elke might repop him.
He has not been repopping, just makes the call.
I like my position in the hand.
You like your position?
Yeah.
I like my hand. I like my hand and my position.
All right, these two are heads up to the flop. Jack 10, Elke's ace makes him a 3-1 favorite.
All air on that flop.
And Schulman is going to bet that air, 25,000.
Sometimes from out of position, you show strength and take it down. For Elke, I believe this is raise or fold.
Or call.
As usual, I have no idea.
Turn card now is a king. Now a queen would give both players a straight, but Elke's would be better. Jeff bets 25,000.
25,000? What the heck is that? I know I have no idea.
Just a call.
I don't understand Elke's call. Maybe he's going to try to bluff the river.
The river card is an 8 of hearts, so Elke with the check mark.
Elke just with ace high. Schulman just with 9 high.
Schulman with a tiny bet again, 30,000.
A sneaky small value bet bluff. Daniel Negreanu would call us in a heartbeat just out of curiosity.
Elke. Suspicious now.
Well, Elke has no hand, and like me, I believe he has no idea.
And he folds.
Oh, you're the weakest.
Oh, and let the trash talking begin.
Okay.
That's what I folded.
Oh, that play by Jeff Schulman was way over my head.
Well played by Jeff Shulman. So at this featured table, we had the #1 ranked player in the world, along with a former world champion. But it is Jeff Shulman who gets the best of them as day 5 comes to a close. The finish line is almost within sight, making it a day of heartache for some, including one of the 3 remaining women, Estelle Denny.
It's a joke.
And one-time chip leader, Amir Lehavat. But for all the power players still here,
Young men, one time.
it was business as usual.
We're still running. We're still in the battle.
Now just 185 players remain, and day 6 won't be any easier.
A lot more work to do. I mean, still got to make it to the final table.
For Norman Chad, I'm Lon McCarran. So long from the World Series of Poker.